Hey there, everybody. I am Debbie Crowley from ExpressivelyDeb.com, and welcome. Okay, so finally got to it, and we are almost at the end of September, but the month is not over yet, and I did get all of my customer card kits cut. And in the mail, everything is done. I am caught up with that, and I am now doing the video. So, those that got the cards earlier in the month, I hope you didn't put them together or you used the PDF tutorial that was in the mail along with them. And I didn't hear anything from anybody, so I'm just guessing that everything went okay. If you haven't put them together yet, then you have the video to follow along with me. Okay, I featured the Autumn Expressions dies in these cards, and the Autumn Splendor designer series paper, which is absolutely beautiful. I know you've seen a lot of it. It's been there are samples of it all over. So, and I have quite a few on my blog, other cards that I've put. And I used the Something Fancy stamp set, which this is still around. It's in the annual catalog. And I used the Spotlight on Nature dies, the nice embossed edge dies. So that's everything that I used. I used on this one a Highland Heather card base, and on this card I used the basic beige card base. So everything is in your kit. These are what the kits look like when you get them, and you get the PDF tutorial along with them. So let's get started. I think we're going to work on the simpler card, which is the gatefold card, and it's just a simple gatefold card using the pretty paper. And I emphasized I love the purples in here, so I matched it up with the Highland Heather card base. Okay, and you have your tutorials, so we'll get started on this. I'll try to give you as many of the dimensions as I can remember. But my customers have received the PDF tutorial on this. Okay, and as I say, I'm sure you've seen this fun fold around. It is just a basic gatefold card. I didn't do a belly band, nothing, just simple gatefold. So these are all the pieces and parts that are in the kit. You get an envelope, and you also get an extra piece of pattern paper that you can put on the flap of the envelope if you choose. And then, you, of course, your writing layer and a little strip if you choose to put it on the bottom of the writing layer. So we'll get to that a little later. The panels and the designer series paper and the sentiment layer and the embellishments. Everything is here for you. Okay, so this card base is cut, I believe I did this. Yeah, it is 5.5 in length, 8.5 across. Now, I scored it on one. I put it in my Stampin trimmer and scored it at 2 1/8, and then I scored it at 6 3/8. Interestingly enough, you would think that a typical gatefold would be scored at 2 1/8 on each side. And yes, you can do that. That's easy. But you get a little bit of a flap, a little bit of an overlap. I kept doing it, and I kept getting that. So I did a little bit of math, and I can guarantee you I did basic math on this. I put it in at 2 1/8, and then I put it in at 6 3/8. I scored it at 6 3/8. And I'll tell you, when I folded it, it is just pretty perfect there. And I tried it more than once, and it worked. I don't know why, but it does work. So just to review, the card base is 5.5 in length, 8.5 across. Score at 2 1/8. Move your cardstock over to 6 3/8 and score it again, and fold and burnish. So, and that gives you a nice the center line is really close. It's it's together. There's no overlapping. So you can try that, and I think it'll work for you because, like I said, I couldn't believe it, and I tried it a few times and it worked. Okay, let's get this together. So the first thing we're going to do is attach the pattern paper layer to the basic white cardstock matte layer that I have here. And I'll go ahead and do that with some liquid glue. The Highland Heather is pretty. And it's not necessarily a fall color, but it's a pretty, it can be. It's a pretty fall color. So here we go. And we'll get that on there. And this is 1/8 of an inch layer. So I'll give you the dimensions for this. So if this side is let's just assume both sides are 2 1/8. So this 2 1/8, the basic white layer is 2 inches by 5 3/8 in length. The pattern paper layer is 1 7/8 inches by 5 1/4 in length. Okay, so that will go on this side. Of the card front. I have another card that I did. It's a gatefold card with a locking mechanism. I need to do a video on that one also, but I did the same thing. I did the 2 1/8, the scoring 2 1/8, and then brought it over to 6 3/8, and it came out nice. It was nice. It was nicely. Okay, we're gonna do the second card front layer. Put the pattern paper layer onto the basic white layer, and I like to use the liquid glue. But of course you can use tape runners, Stampin' Seal, whatever your favorite adhesive is. And we'll just get this on here. Make sure that that's straight. The light is going right in my, there we go. There we go. So that's the front of the card. Now we have the sentiment, which is one of the die cuts from the Spotlight on Nature dies. And I believe, I'll tell you what this is. This is, it's about 2 3/4 inches in diameter, the circle, from end to end. So on this, I stamped, thank you. And of course, you did not get the stamped images in your kit, but the circle is certainly large enough. You can easily match up a sentiment to it. And I think I always send you an extra circle, so I think you probably got 2. Okay, and what I'm doing with this is I'm stamping this thank you sentiment onto the left side of the circle. So we're going to do that right about in the center and to the left. Okay, and that's that. And I always say a circle, I know I say this every month, a circle is the best. Oh, and I use Blackberry Bliss on this. A circle is the best sentiment layer because if it's not straight, you can adjust it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is put adhesive or glue on the back of the left side of the circle because that's what's going to adhere to this left front panel. There's a little embellishment there. So on this one, I did 3 leaves. So let's put the 3 on here. I think it'll be nice. So you have 3 in your kit. So I die cut Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, and this is a brushed bronze. And now I had this in my stash. This was from a while back, but we'll do that one first. And it really doesn't matter. Just put some glue in the center of the oak leaf and just kind of embellish the side of the circle. And maybe we'll do the, any way you choose is the right way. Okay, we'll put this here. Just have to hold that a little bit. There we go. And then the third one. This is a quick and easy card to put together. I'll bring this down a little bit. There we go. And then you can embellish. I used one. I gave you two in the kit. But one is enough. And I forget now where these... these are... I think they're Mossy Meadow. I'm not really sure what these embellishments are. And we'll just put one right up there. There we go. So there you have it. That's the front of the gatefold, the first gatefold card. And then we'll get the writing layer inside. So what I do with the writing layer is I just, the piece of, the strip of pattern paper that you have, I just put a line of glue along the bottom of the writing layer, just a thin line of glue. And it's larger. That's by design. So, and then just, you could put your strip on. Here we go. Okay. So you get a nice even trim. And this will go inside. This layer, I believe, is 4 by 5 1/4. 4 inches basic white by 5 1/4 inches. And that's just going to fit inside. And you could do something with either one, with either each panel, the inside of the panel. I did not, but you could if you wanted to. And there you have it, a nice little thank you. You have your envelope with that you can adhere the flap, the pattern paper flap to. And I know by now you all know how to do this. And it's an easy, I'll do this one for you and then on the next one just to save time. So I take glue and just run it along the top, run it right along the edge of the envelope flap and the pattern paper. And this is Highland Heather. This is from the 6x6 Designer Series paper that was in the last catalog, last year's catalog. And I thought, it'll be nice to use it up. Okay, and then just make sure that that's secure. And then you fussy cut, and you can easily, this is a quick and easy fussy cut. Okay. And that's it. So that's card number 1. Very quick, very easy to put together, and it's a simple basic card. And you have all of the dimensions in the PDF tutorial. So really you can do this card with anything you have. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one, this is a little bit busier. Oh, this kit's closed. Okay, so we'll do this one. And this is the card that I did. And I thought it would be fun to share with you this frame and how I put the vellum in the back there. And it's really quick and easy. And we'll go ahead and get this one together. So that's this card. And the card base. So you have everything in your kit. Here's the frame. The vellum piece, the ribbon, all your embellishments, and this one we need dimensionals for. So you have your embellishments and your dimensionals and leaves in the little pouch that's inside the kit, and the envelope and the writing layer and the card front layers and the envelope flap layer. So there's a lot going on in this kit. Okay, and then you have your strip as well for the writing layer, so we'll put that aside. So here's the card base. This is card number 2, and this is basic beige, 5.5 in length, 8.5 across, scored at 4.25 inches. Okay, so that's that, and we'll take this piece. This is from this pattern paper I took from the Country Lace designer series paper. This is just a simple neutral pattern, and I thought it would work well with this. So this is a 4-inch square, and this will go on the center of the front of the card base. So what I'm doing is centering this top to bottom and side to side, and it is a 4-inch square onto the card front. So that's that. And then this layer, which is the wheat pattern in the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper, and that goes on to Blackberry Bliss card layer that you have. And I think this card layer, this was 3.25 inches across, and it is 5.5 in length. It's the length of the card front. So we're going to put this layer is 3 inches. The pattern paper layer is 3 inches by 5.25. So we'll put that. Okay. And then this will go on top of the square that we've already put on the front. And just make sure it's centered side to side, and it is even with the top and even with the bottom of the card base. Okay, there we go. So that's the base that we're going to work with. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff, and I've done quite a few of these. And so I kind of set up my own little method for it. So what we're going to do, I think I used the thicker, I did. So we're going to use, if you look at this frame, this is the die cut that is in the Autumn Expressions dies. And this is the frame that you make the pocketbook from. And what I've been doing with it, the little purse with the chain, you can do a picture frame with the chain. What I've been doing with it is cutting it. So I will show you. This is how the frame, this is the actual die for the frame, and this is what comes out after you die cut the frame. So I will show you what I did here. And I used, if you look closely at this frame, you have a wider part of the frame and a narrower part of the frame. And there's score lines here in the middle. And there's also score lines on the edges, which you can snip if you want to. And you know, I thought about it, but then I kind of liked it, leaving them there. I think on one of the cards I snipped them. But for this, I did not. So I'm just going to cut on the score line because we're only going to use the one side of the frame. And it's only one layer, okay? So now we're going to turn the frame over. And you have a piece of vellum that I cut from the center of this is part of the center of the frame. So what I did was I actually cut another frame in vellum. And you can see there's little stitching on it. It really is a beautiful sentiment layer. It has the little stitching around it. The shape is really lovely. You can use it for the inside of the frame, or you can use it as a standalone sentiment layer, which is very pretty. So we're just going to flip this over, okay? Now, in your kits, you have, I believe, oh no, I gave you both. So in case you wanted to use the narrower part of the frame for something else, you can. So, but we're going to use the wider portion, and that's obvious. You'll be able to see that. So this is going to set just like that on the back of the frame. And then what we're going to do, I cheated a little bit on the last card I made, and I used some little tiny pieces of low-tack tape to hold this in place, but that was a little tedious. So I did not do that when I made the sample for this card. But what I did do was I cut my dimensionals in half, and I used dimensionals. And you have to be a little strategic. What I did was I made sure I grabbed part of the vellum on the back side of this. And I just put a dimensional, just so that, be sure that it's not, you can't see it from the other side. So there's another one. Yeah, you won't be able to see it. Just, take your time doing it. And you have a photograph in the PDF tutorial. I literally took a photograph of this so that you can see it. And I think I have an extra half here because I just cut one. So we can put it on the bottom or on the top. It really doesn't matter. It's just important. Well, I didn't have it there. Let's see if I could grab this one where it's not showing. So there's your frame. And the vellum is, it's secure enough on there. I'm just going to remove the backing from the dimensionals. Seems like you're wasting, but you can use, the other part of the frame. And then if you cut the vellum, you can use the vellum frame because this would be the center of the frame that you cut, the die cut. So that vellum frame that you have, you can use it as a nice little layering piece on something else. So now before we do this is going to set on the card front here. Yeah, we're good here. So let me just push this up just a little bit, okay? And then this is going to set, I think I centered it. Yeah, put it right in the center of the card front, on top of that pretty wheat layer. Okay, and that's that. It looks pretty. I don't know if you can really see it, but the wheat comes through it, and it gives a little bit of a subtle effect there. So now we have the ribbon, and you do have a piece of ribbon. I have to get my Stampin' seal. I'm just going to put 2 little lines of the seal. There we go. That's enough. I don't know if you could see that on there, but I do have the Stampin' seal. It's right about here, okay? It's sort of bottom right of the frame, okay? And then the ribbon, you should have had a piece of ribbon in the kit. Here it is. And this ribbon I cut, it's about 5.5 inches. And then you're just going to fold it in half. And this is gorgeous ribbon. This was in the suite. And it's beautiful. It's like a Blackberry Bliss burlap. And with the gold, it's beautiful. Okay, it's a soft ribbon. And we're just going to put this so that that Stampin' seal that I put on there grabs the ribbon. You see that? It makes it easier to attach the ribbon the right way. And you can do it any way you want. It's always going to be different. Okay, and then this I stamped with the Blackberry Bliss ink. And I gave you, this was a punch that I used. And I have to be honest with you, I did not label this punch. And I'm sorry I didn't, because I don't know what punch this is. I think it was called a fancy label punch. It's recent, but I think it has since retired. And it really is pretty. And I've used it a lot. So we're going to just stamp the sentiment onto the sentiment layer. And I hope my head's not in this, but I do have to bring it to me to see how I'm stamping this, because I want to make sure it's straight. Okay. And it says, nothing fancy, just love. And I always loved that sentiment. I used it a lot. It's on my blog a lot. So that's the sentiment. And we're going to put this on with dimensionals, and you have 2 sentiment layers in your kit. And with this design, you could do a circle. If you have something else in your stash, a little punched circle you could use, or you know, something larger if you wanted to. I'm going to save these. I'll use the other one. Something larger if you wanted to put it here. But, you know, it's nice to have the ribbon showing on both sides. That's why I kept it smaller. So now all I'm going to do is put a dimensional here and put a dimensional here. And it's going to the dimensionals are kind of grabbing the ribbon and grabbing the vellum at the same time. And we're just going to attach the sentiment. I could bring it up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's done. And then we have our little embellishment, which is one of these gold, I forget what they're called also, but they are they're beautiful, like a brushed metallic gold, very pretty, and they're embossed. So these are nice. Let me just see if I could grab it with it. Okay, this one had a lot of little pieces and parts in it, and then this is from the Metallics Gold that cardstock. That is it's actually in the annual catalog. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge of it. And I'm going to tuck it under the sentiment frame. You know, we do a lot of tucking with these card kits. Okay. Just like that. And you know, the glue is going to pick up on it came through actually. You won't be able to see that. It's going to pick up attached to the frame as well. And then there's one that I die cut in Cajun Craze. We'll put a little dot of glue there. Okay, and that's it. So see how easy that was? That was pretty quick and easy to put together. Once you get the frame, you know, cut your little sides and take your time putting that vellum, attaching the vellum with the dimensionals. And you have the dimensionals in there to do it in the kit. And there is a picture, there's a photo of what I did in the PDF tutorial, which you have. So you'll see that. But once you do that, the rest is pretty basic. And then we're going to attach the little strip along the bottom. And I think I'm going to use this side, but I'm going to put this on the end. And I always make them longer so that you can trim from the back, you know that, and get a nice clean cut. And then attach the writing layer. Stamp a sentiment on the inside. If you don't, that's fine too. You can. I do on some of my cards. I stamp sentiment Others I don't. I purposely keep them blank because I do enjoy writing a personal note. So here's this one. And then we have our pretty little Highland Heather. This one. So they're both pretty. This one's larger. That's why I did the 3 leaves. I'm saying, why did I do 3 leaves? But that's why. The circle is larger. And I did that by design because if you have a larger sentiment, it would be easier for you to match it up. So these are both the cards that were in the September Customer Mini Card Kit. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you, as always, if you have any questions or need clarification on anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I wish you a great rest of day. And always remember to express your creativity. And the only limitation is your imagination. Thank you much for stopping by.